It's day 15. We're halfway through the 30-day Bible study challenge. All right, we are in First Timothy 3, and we're going to be reading verses 6 and 7. This is the last section of the elders when Paul is talking to Timothy about elders in the church and what the requirements to be an elder are. So starting in verse 6, if you haven't read this, go ahead and do that. He must not be a recent convert, or he may become conceited and fall under the same judgment as the devil. He must also have a good reputation with outsiders, so that he will not fall into disgrace and into the devil's trap. All right, must not be a recent convert. This seems like, well, it's like, what if someone just like studies really hard and all this kind of stuff like that? It's, I think what this is referring to, and what Paul understood, is that like any good thing, it takes time for someone's heart to change. That instantaneously you're saved. That God's grace works instantaneously. But like salvation is in that moment. But sanctification, another big word for you, that's the purifying process. That your heart and life begin to change. Not just you're saved, but that your character begins to change. That takes time. That takes just being with God in His presence and letting His Holy Spirit work in your heart. So, being a recent convert, someone can learn and grow and stuff like that, and it's really important to disciple those people when they're hungry and they're wanting to learn and stuff like that. But it's also important to not give them too much authority, too much position, too quickly, and because if he may become conceited and fall under the same judgment as the devil. Conceited. He may become like, look at me. I've done so much in such a short amount of time. It's like, look at my place. Prideful, basically. That's the devil became prideful at his beauty, how, he thought he should be worshipped like God. And the judgment that he was cast out. And so, that's what this is saying. It's urging people that let the character develop in the leaders so that they, when they're put in the position of the authority, they know how to deal with it. They don't see their position as just a privilege, something that's owed them or something like that, but they see it as a way to serve others. The way they see it, that they put the church first. And this is not some set amount of time, like someone's got to be a Christian for 7 years in order to do this. I think as it says, you will know them by their fruit. You look for the fruit in their life. See if the maturity is up there with the knowledge, because there's lots of people that know a ton of stuff, but they are not mature. All right, so in verse 7 it says, he must also have a good reputation with outsiders, so that he will not fall into disgrace and into the devil's trap. Good reputation with outsiders. I think about this with Chick-fil-A. People may not even care about Christians. They may not even like Christians and stuff like that. They still eat at Chick-fil-A because, one, they have great food, and they're clean, and they have great customer service, and people respond to that no matter who they are. And so, I personally love Chick-fil-A. I eat there all the time. Not because it's a Christian company. That's just a bonus, but because I love the food, and I like how I'm treated when I go there. And so I think this is what it means by a good reputation with outsiders. You're consistent in your word. You're consistent in the things that you do, and that is a respectable quality no matter where you are. And so a good reputation with outsiders, so that that you have the opportunity to speak about Christ, they'll listen to you. They'll listen to what you have to say because they know you're consistent in all the other things that you do. It's one thing to look good to Christians, but we're supposed to be examples. It says they will know you by your love. If we're not loving the people around us, then it doesn't matter. Like 1 Corinthians 13, we're clanging cymbal or resounding gong. We're just useless. We're loud, And so the outside world should know who we are, and especially leaders. They should look at them as someone that's respectable and someone that they They say that person is consistent, and when they say they're going to do something, they do it. Like it says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And part of this is so that he may not fall into disgrace and into the devil's trap. Disgrace. It's there's I think about this. There's some pastors that big time pastors who have fallen into this disgrace, and they whatever it's a sin, like it might be they might have cheated on their wives, or got a prostitute, or as I said this the other day, embezzling, all these kind of things like that. And then it gets out there, and then the world sees them, and the devil's like, ha, that's what Christians are like. And then the rest of the world's like, man, what a bunch of hypocrites, what a bunch of people that say they're all good, high and mighty, and then they do something like this. So a good reputation with outsiders is not just that you fake it. It means that you actually are doing good, because the devil's trap is that the rest of the world will see Christians as phony and not really changed people. They're not different. And so when people see that we're different, it's so powerful. When they see Christ in us, it draws them to Christ, because they see that we're not doing it on our own strength, that there is power in what we believe. All right, so that's the end of today. We are halfway through. I'm so proud of you guys. Regardless of whether you're following this video or not, if you're just reading the Bible, that's just a huge step for someone that's young. I mean, when I was your age, I'd read my Bible, every blue moon. So if you're doing that, man, I'm so happy and excited for you guys. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.